Very often we're told that within the United States we have freedom of speech, and that may be true for liberals. People who support the American superstructure and have swallowed the American pill are allowed to say whatever they want. But people who use their freedom of speech in order to fundamentally challenge the institutions of America get anything but freedom of speech. And I hope this excerpt from America, Democracy for the Few by Michael Parenti helps highlight this. From 1968 to 1971, over 300 members of the Black Panther Party, a revolutionary Marxist organization, were arrested. Many held without bail or trial for a long duration. At least 10 former Panthers, convicted on fabricated evidence and coerced testimony that was subsequently recanted, served 30 years in prison. Panther Albert Washington died in prison after serving over 28 years, during which he was repeatedly mistreated for his political ideas. Panther Herman Bell has been unjustly locked since 1975 after a trial that included perjured testimony, torture, and evidence suppressed by prosecution. Another Black Panther, Anthony Bottom, aka Jalal Abdul Muntabikim, has been incarcerated since 1971. Black Panthers Marshall Eddie Conway, Albert Woodfox, and Erman Wallace served almost 40 years in prison, mostly in solitary, for crimes that were never proven against them. Another black revolutionary, Robert Hillary Cling, was released after 29 years in solitary confinement. His conviction was overturned and he pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of conspiracy to commit murder. Panther leader Geronimo Pratt was charged with murder when he was a UCLA student. The FBI conveniently lost its surveillance records showing that Pratt was 400 miles away, attending a Panther meeting in Oakland at the time of the murder. After serving 20 years in prison, Pratt had his conviction overturned and was paid a settlement of $4.5 million. Community activist Fred Hampton Jr., son of Black Panther leader Fred Hampton, who was murdered in his bed by lawmakers raiding his home, was tried on bogus charges of arson in Chicago. During the trial, no evidence was produced demonstrating that a fire had actually taken place or that Hampton was connected to the alleged incident. Yet in 1993, he was given 18 years, subject to harsh mistreatment for organizing around inmate rights. He managed to get paroled in 2001. Walter Reuther, who was playing a key role in advocating labor movement against the Vietnam War, was killed when his small plane crashed in 1970. Evidence indicated that his plane's altimeter had been sabotaged. Weeks before the fatal crash, President Nixon and other Republican leaders had labeled Reuther a dangerous menace. Between 1991 and 93, Haitian talk show hosts in Miami who had aided critical commentaries against the CIA-supported military repression in Haiti were shot dead. In 2005, some 100 heavily armed FBI agents surrounded the home of Odejo Rios, the 72-year-old leader of the Puerto Rican independence movement who had evaded arrest for a heist of a Wells Fargo truck in 1990. The agents approached with guns blazing. The autopsy performed on Rijo's body revealed that he could have survived had he received proper medical attention. Instead, the FBI allowed no one to enter the house for 18 hours, while Rijo slowly bled to death. Amnesty International considered the killing an extrajudicial execution. When two Chicano socialists were killed by bombs planted in their cars by white supremacist and fascist organizations, the FBI made no arrest. However, the FBI was quick to make arrests when a leftist environmentalist, Judy Barr, and Daryl Cherany were injured in a car bomb in 1990. They arrested the victims of the bombing, Barry and Cherany, calling them radical activists. And that book has tons of other great examples of people being killed extrajudicially for practicing their freedom of speech or being arrested for long periods of time on trumped-up charges. Remember, the only reason you're allowed to have freedom of speech right now is because you're not a threat to the current institutions of America.